Hey guys, it's Alex with Hammond Watch, here today with the SRPD36. It's an automatic dress watch from the Presage line. It's a limited edition with an incredibly nice dial, and hadn't seen any coverage. Wanted to share it with you guys today. So let's go ahead and kind of quickly run through the specs and then talk about kind of the real selling point around this watch. So when it comes to modern dress watch sizing, I feel like the Presage line really hits the nail on the head a lot of the time. The traditional side of me wants, more 38 millimeter watches, but by today's standards, a 40.5 millimeter case, which is what we're working with here, I really don't have any complaints about. You're 12.25 millimeters thick. A few of those millimeters are a boxed Hardlex crystal. I don't mind the boxed Hardlex. When you go boxed, it's meant to have a bit of a vintage feel, and I feel you get more of that with Hardlex as opposed to Sapphire, which is a bit more cold to the touch. But not a huge deal. If this was Sapphire, I'd certainly take it. Nice signed crown. I've always been curious about that particular font for dress watches. That said, the execution's nice, so you really can't complain. It's also got a very nice cupcake shape, so it's very pleasant to operate and grab. There's no problems at all, and winding it's incredibly smooth. The movement in here is your 4R35, so it's a date-only, Seiko-only version of the NH35. If you guys aren't familiar with kind of the number system there, the 4R36 is going to be your day and date, the same way the NH36 is your day and date. Seiko just keeps the 4Rs for themselves and kind of let everybody else use the NH movements. 21,600 beats per hour, a 40-hour power reserve, and you're looking at plus 45 to minus 35 a day. So, traditional kind of regular accuracy for a watch, $400 or $500 from Seiko. I think a couple of companies out there probably do a little bit better job putting out more accurate movements, but I think the service intervals and reliability with Seiko kind of make it a little bit of a step above. 50 meters of water resistance. You'll see here, limited edition. It is of 8,000 pieces. I want to touch on that real quick because 8,000 pieces is not a limited edition. I see it all the time with Omega, limited edition, only 2,000, 2,500. Guys, it doesn't add to value. It's like when you see something that says collectible on it. It's not collectible, it's trying to be. And so many of these companies are doing it. Now, at $400 or $500, I can certainly forgive Seiko for putting it on there. It's just a marketing tactic at that point. But unless you're talking, really small batch, I even beyond 200 get a little bit skeptical. I'd pretty much ignore that. Too many companies putting out limited edition of 5,000, and you see the watch everywhere. The dial, though, is kind of the real selling point here, and we'll get just a little closer. So this dial is one of the more beautiful and interesting I've seen in a long time. Shooting it is kind of a nightmare. Between that and the boxed crystal, light plays just everywhere. So trying to really capture all of that depth is a bit tricky. I love it though. I feel the gold Seiko logo almost melts away. I can't put my finger on it. The dial reminds me of an old wood table or coffee that hasn't been stirred with just a splash of creamer in it. It's just very artistic. I don't think anyone really does a better job than Seiko at these Presage dials. Some of the original cocktails I feel had better kind of slots and more of the fanned out dials. I feel now the paint kind of fills them in a little bit more, but this texture in particular just really does it for me. beautifully executed framing around the date wheel, and obviously making it a black date wheel was very important to keeping this a beautiful watch. I just wish that the case itself wasn't gold tone. I know a lot of companies are hanging on to the gold PVDing, and I understand that you want to put out watches with that look. I just, it affects their longevity. So all in all, it's really just, it's not going to be for me. The gold tone kind of turns me off. I do have a gold tone watch in my collection, but it's got some sentimental value, so it gets a bit of a pass. If this was just a stainless case, I understand that the brown and gold of the dial may not have worked as well, but I'm okay if you even leave the indices and the hands gold and just not the case, so it's got a little bit more longevity. But if you guys have enjoyed the content, I'm going to have a button right here where you can subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon to get notifications when I'm putting out new content. Also check out some of the other videos that I'm putting up on the side. Let us know what you like and what you don't, what you want to see, and we'll see you in the next one.